Hello, everybody. We are live. Nous sommes live. Hello, people. Alors, je dois regarder mes... Je suis en live. Oui, je pense que je suis en live. Et donc, salut tout le monde. J'espère que vous allez super, super, super bien. Je dois vérifier que je suis en live. Je dois vérifier que je parle pas seule. Et donc, comment est-ce que vous allez? Aujourd'hui, on va parler d'un sujet que vous êtes peut-être très surpris. Non, je pense pas que vous êtes surpris ou surprise de me voir parler de ça si vous suivez mon autre chaîne. Sandra, donc, n'hésitez pas à commenter. Dites-moi dans le chat si tout va bien. Dites hi, salut. Comme ça, je suis sûre que vous entendez très, très bien ce que je suis en train de dire. Je pense que si j'ouvre ici, là, ça va créer de l'écho. Je ne veux pas vous déranger les oreilles. Sinon, enfin, j'ai défait mes rastas, mais j'ai des conséquences. Bref, on va parler de ça un autre jour. Aujourd'hui, on va parler de l'échec, des moments difficiles, de comment surmonter ça. Vous savez, dans la vie, parfois, on peut passer par des moments difficiles, échouer un examen, passer par une fausse couche, un divorce, le mariage, ça va pas bien, la perte d'un enfant, la perte d'un parent, que ce soit dans les entreprises, ne pas réussir dans son business, être renvoyé. Et aujourd'hui, donc, on va parler de comment gérer ça et de sortir de ça. Et on va surtout se centrer sur les choses comme dans le cadre de la vie de tous les jours, que ce soit réussir dans ses entreprises, réussir dans son travail, réussir dans son foyer, réussir l'éducation de ses enfants. Et donc, on va parler de ça aujourd'hui. Merci, Jolie. Et donc, je vais inviter mon frère. Je vais me parler de ça avec lui. Si vous savez, mon frère il a passé cette chaîne. On a parlé de cheveux. Mais aujourd'hui, je veux qu'on parle autre chose. Et donc, je vais l'envoyer l'invitation. Comment est-ce que vous allez? Dites-moi dans le chat. Est-ce que tout va bien? Est-ce que vous me recevez 5 sur 5? L'audio est bon. N'hésitez pas à partager le live. Faut partager le live. Il faut prendre de quoi écrire et noter. On va noter aujourd'hui. Comme ça, vous pouvez utiliser ça après. Ok, il y a Bak qui dit qu'elle adore le sujet. Merci. Elle me dit qu'elle est si belle. Merci. Alors, j'ai soif. Yes. Super, joli, me reçoit 5 sur 5. Est-ce que vous avez déjà partagé le live? Partagez. Merci, Marilyn. Vous aimez trop mon... Bon, j'aime aussi, mais je pense que ça me va bien au thème. Bizarrement, ça me va bien au thème. Et donc, attendez. Voilà. Il y a... Bak, c'est comme si je connais. C'est comme si je te connais. Est-ce que je te crois que je sais qui écrit là? Je crois qu'on a déjà discuté. On avait discuté sur Facebook. On s'est appelé comme ça. Si c'est toi, fais-moi signe. Fais un thumbs up. Est-ce que vous êtes prêts? J'ai dit, prenez vos formats. On doit écrire dans un cahier et un stylo. Moi, j'ai mon format, j'ai mon stylo. C'est quoi là? La marque du rouge à lèvres ici. Ah, c'est dans mes... Vous allez regarder ça dans mes vidéos. Regardez ça dans la barre de description. Vous allez trouver ça. Et donc, apparemment, ma connexion n'est pas bonne. Ou bien ça va. C'est pas le jour pour déranger si il y a connexion. Aujourd'hui, on ne dérange pas. Ok, monsieur est là. Ok. Hello.
Allô?
Salut, Gia, c'est comment?
Salut Sandra, comment tu vas? Il y a un peu de bruit où je suis là. Est-ce que c'est OK? Est-ce qu'on m'entend bien?
C'est très OK. Juste que tu as ton micro sur la bouche, c'est très, très OK. Et donc, tout va bien. Comment vas-tu?
D'accord, super. Euh, Ça va vraiment bien. Bon, je suis là encore à un meet-up. Et
Ah, OK.
ouais, sinon ça va, ça s'est bien passé. Bon, là maintenant, ils sont dans le networking. Et bon, j'ai fait le networking virtuel quand ils sont en train de faire le networking en présentiel.
Exactement. Et donc, il y a une
Mhm.
vidéo que tu as faite. Aujourd'hui, on va parler de l'échec et des regrets. Et justement,
Mhm.
comment surmonter ça. Et tu sais, les 2 dernières années, bon, 3 des années qui sont passées là, il y a eu beaucoup d'échecs, beaucoup de regrets liés à ce qui s'est passé, mais de manière générale aussi. Et donc, comment est-ce que tu peux déjà définir l'échec et après on va continuer?
Euh, L'échec, c'est le fait d'arrêter de faire quelque chose. Quand on a fait une fois, ça n'a pas marché comme on veut, et on arrête et on ne recommence plus jamais. C'est ça que c'est comme ça que je définirais l'échec.
OK. Et bizarrement, comme par surprise, tu as posté une vidéo aujourd'hui sur ta chaîne parlant de c'était quoi le titre là? J'ai pas encore regardé vu que tu as posté ça. Je regarde ça
Mhm.
quand il voulait faire là, il dit que: «Oh, il a fait la vidéo aussi». Ça parlait de quoi la vidéo là?
Les 8 secrets ou bien les 8 caractères que si nous continuons à vivre avec cela, cela va définitivement nous empêcher d'avancer dans la vie. Quand je dis avancer ou bien quand je dis réussir, c'est pas forcément côté financier, mais dans tous les domaines de notre vie, que ce soit finance, relations, éducation de nos enfants, non, dans tous ces domaines-là, que si nous ne travaillons pas sur ces caractères-là pour les éliminer au maximum que possible, c'est carrément impossible de réussir.
OK. Et tu peux nous donner un? Donne un aux gens aussi là, avant qu'après ils vont aller regarder. Je vais mettre ta chaîne là, mais partage déjà
Mm.
un avec nous.
Moi, je peux partager 3. Si tu veux, la règle des 3, elle est meilleure.
OK,
Euh,
vas-y.
le premier point, c'est de vouloir plaire à tout le monde.
Mhm.
On a ce fait-là qu'on a été éduqué, conditionné d'une certaine manière que tout ce qu'on veut, tout ce qu'on fait, on attend que quelqu'un soit d'accord avec ce que nous sommes en train de faire, que quelqu'un soit d'accord avec ce que nous sommes en train de dire. Et le moment que quelqu'un n'est pas d'accord, ou bien le moment que ce que nous faisons ne plaît pas à quelqu'un, directement, on ne veut plus continuer, on arrête tout ce qu'on est en train de faire parce que autour de nous, les gens, ça ne plaît pas à ce que nous sommes en train de faire. Et
Mhm.
majoritairement, le problème avec ça, c'est que quel qu'en soit ce que vous commencez de nouveau à faire, surtout quand vous décidez de prendre votre vie en main, quel qu'en soit le domaine, quand vous décidez d'améliorer votre vie, avoir un meilleur travail, avoir des meilleures relations, avoir plus de revenus, vous allez devoir sortir de, du groupe que vous êtes présentement.
Oh.
Et la conséquence maintenant, c'est que ce groupe-là ne va pas vous apprécier parce que vous êtes en train de les laisser. Vous ne pouvez pas rester dans le même groupe et avancer. Si vous restez dans le même
Mhm.
groupe, vous allez continuer à avoir les mêmes mentalités et par conséquent rester la même personne. Donc voilà pourquoi ce point-là est, si vous n'arrivez pas à faire les choses sans toutefois vouloir plaire à quelqu'un d'autre, ce sera très difficile. Et le deuxième, c'est prendre les responsabilités. Pour réussir, quel qu'en soit le domaine, comme j'ai bien dit, il va falloir prendre des responsabilités. Si vous voulez un meilleur travail, ça veut dire prendre plus de responsabilités. Si vous voulez plus de revenus, plus de salaire, ça veut dire prendre plus de responsabilités. Si vous voulez plus d'argent, ça veut dire prendre plus de responsabilités. Quel qu'en soit ce que, si vous voulez que votre vie s'améliore, il va falloir prendre plus de responsabilités. Donc, quel qu'en soit ce que vous voulez, il faut prendre plus de responsabilités. Mais nous avons été éduqués de telle sorte que nous sommes à l'intérieur de nous toujours des enfants, où on veut que c'est quelqu'un d'autre qui prenne les responsabilités à notre place parce qu'on n'a pas confiance en nous. On n'a pas cette maturité-là à l'intérieur de nous pour prendre les responsabilités. Par conséquent, on fait tout pour éviter les responsabilités. Ça, c'est le deuxième point. Et le troisième point, c'est la réjection.
Ah, le
Nous,
rejet.
oui, le rejet. On
Mhm.
a extrêmement peur. On fait tout pour éviter que quelqu'un nous dise non. Dès que quelqu'un nous dit non, c'est comme si le monde allait s'effondrer. C'est comme si tout allait se détruire autour de nous. Et par conséquent, on évite toute chose où on va nous dire non.
Yep.
Donc, ce sont ces... Bon, il y en a 8, vous pouvez voir le reste là-bas, mais ces 3 points-là sont aussi à l'intérieur. Et ouais, ce sont des trucs que si nous ne travaillons pas cela, ce sera difficile, voire impossible d'avancer.
Ok, bien, merci beaucoup. Ce qu'on va donc faire, c'est que je vais mettre le lien de ta chaîne dans les commentaires, aller regarder et on va donc laisser Vianney aller faire son networking en présentiel parce que c'est le plus important là-bas, n'est-ce pas?
Ouais.
Yep. So, un dernier mot. Wow, c'est
Yes,
cool. Thanks for sharing. C'est trop cool.
un
Quel...
dernier...
Oui, vas-y,
Bon,
vas-y.
si faut... c'est un peu difficile de dire un dernier mot. Donc, tout ce que je peux dire, c'est... Ouais, comme Sandra a dit, allez regarder la vidéo par vous-même parce qu'il y a plus, j'ai expliqué plus là-bas que ce que je ne peux expliquer maintenant. Et ouais, et si vous avez des questions, bon, n'hésitez pas, vous pouvez toujours me les poser, ou bien à Sandra, ou bien quoi que ce soit. Donc, ouais, passez à l'action.
Yes. Thank
Ce
you.
sera le
Merci
dernier
beaucoup.
truc que je peux dire. Passez à l'action.
Thanks, bien. Bonne journée. Bon networking. Échange les vies là-bas, OK?
D'accord, super. Merci beaucoup et merci beaucoup pour l'invitation.
Yep.
Ça fait un plaisir de passer toujours par ici.
Yes, yep.
Ouais.
Bye bye. On va faire une vidéo sur les cheveux encore, OK? Les filles avaient
D'accord.
donc très très bien. Bye bye.
D'accord, super. Merci beaucoup et bonne soirée à vous tous. Bye bye.
Bye. Alors là, hello, me voici de nouveau. Et donc, c'était mon frère. Et franchement, allez regarder sa chaîne. Il a une chaîne, pas des choses exceptionnelles. Magnifique. Tout est bien, tout est carré là. Donc, allez regarder. Je vais mettre le lien dans la description. Mais là, j'ai déjà notre invité dans la salle d'attente et on va parler un peu en anglais. OK, on va parler l'anglais. Et pour ceux qui vont dire que oh, je ne comprends pas l'anglais, non, tu comprends. Et si vraiment tu es très nul en anglais, il est le temps d'apprendre parce que vous savez, les bonnes choses sont en fait en anglais. Je ne parle pas l'anglais parce que j'aime ça ou bien parce que ça me plaît. Je parle ça et j'ai appris parce que c'est nécessaire. Et notre prochain invité n'est autre que Mitchell Snyder. Attendez, vous avez pour le moment le tambour. Si vous avez vu de mes interviews, vous savez de qui il s'agit. Et donc, hi
Hello.
Mitchell.
Hello. I don't have to speak in French, do I?
Just say bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Thank
Oui.
you. No, you don't have to speak in French. You have to speak in English because
Excellent.
the world is moving forward with English. If you don't get English, then it's your business. You have to learn. So, welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
Just present yourself, who you are, so that we can dive into the subject. It's going to be an amazing call today.
Yes, so I am Mitch. I am good friends with Sandra. We have worked together for the past few years. We share the same exact mission and purpose is to create a world that is best, the very best world we can imagine. We do that through education, also through looking at how we can change politics, society, culture, all of it. And we have an exciting video chat here for you today. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be great. I got to one up Vianney. Vianney was on before me. I didn't know what you guys said.
Yes, we just talk about the fact that he's at a networking event.
Mm-hmm.
Doing networking with people so that we can change this world and showing people that being in prison is actually the most best thing when you want to improve your life. So he was just showing us what you have to do. So I'm going to invite everyone that is watching to have a piece of paper and pen. I'm going to be the one guiding you through what Mitchell is saying so that you take something with you when we are done. I don't want you to end this live and be like, okay, great. You said great thing. Okay, great. And then next, what is the next dopamine, So we are going to write things down so that afterward, going to remember this life forever. And so I'm going to dive into it. And I would like for you to share for the average person, what is failure?
What is failure?
Yes, the Mitchell in the past, how did you solve failure in the past? Because I'm pretty sure you have redefined what failure is, but The Mitchell 6 years ago, how did he saw failure?
Oh, okay. 6 years ago, how I used to see failure was it was something that just felt so bad. I just felt so frustrated and like things weren't going to work for me. And so I was actually very afraid of failure. I would hold myself back. I wouldn't go all out in everything I did. Like I can remember wanting to build certain businesses, or when I was building my business, you have to make sales, right? So
Yeah.
it's like that's just part of any business. And I remember being so afraid of somebody rejecting me, or I would even make the sale and I would be afraid I wouldn't succeed. So I would even stop myself sometimes before I could even fail because I was just so afraid of it. Then I learned, okay, yeah, well, if I fail, I can learn, right? If I'll fail, then I'll learn. But even that, even that was like, I mean, here's a failure I had one time. One time I made the most money I ever had made. I had closed a deal where I made $16,000. I was getting paid $8,000 one month, and then next month $8,000. And I was so excited that I finally did it. Right, I made it. This is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and all of a sudden, about 2 3 weeks later, the money was just gone. Spent it on the stuff to fulfill, but also it was just gone. I just found other ways to spend the money. And
Mhm.
that was horrible. I felt so bad. I just felt like I wanted to give up because I thought this is not for me. Like success is just for some people, and it's not for me. Thankfully, I found otherwise. But yeah, I think overall, to answer your question, like how did I used to see failure was just anytime stuff became hard, I didn't get the result I wanted, and it felt really, really, really bad. So bad that I wanted to just quit, and I would let myself quit.
Yes, and how do you think the average person see themselves after failing? What did they go through in their mind, in the physical reality? How did they go through failure? Um,
Yeah, I think it starts like when we go through school. For anyone listening who ever been through school and you ever didn't get a plus, you felt bad.
I
um,
think they're gonna relate. Yes, because
yeah,
I to relate.
yeah, and just feeling shame, feeling guilt, feeling like you could have done better. And then it's like a closing off. It's like it feels like you're closing up, and you're stopping, as
Yeah,
opposed to opening up and moving forward. It's more of a closing down and slowing down. And the other thing too is like in the past when I would feel failure for weeks and weeks and weeks, I would feel bad. And I would replay it in my head. And oh, I could have done that. I could have done that. I could have done that. And it's just this mental game.
yeah. What comes up for me is feeling bad. That
Mhm.
word, feeling bad.
Yeah.
And when someone starts feeling bad because they has failed, they just s- stop doing anything. It's like, I'm not good at this. I should rather watch Netflix or watch YouTube or whatever, and then go deep in that hole. And after that, what comes after? You just give up, and you don't want to do anything. What come after that? At least for you.
After that, I mean, just nothing really good comes from that. And what I had noticed is if I would fail and I would quit, it
Mm-hmm.
made it that much harder the next time I wanted to do something because I knew that quitting was an option. And so it was this very difficult cycle. It was like, have you ever seen an animal on the wheel? You ever see like an animal on the hamster? In America, we call it hamster wheel.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and they're on the circle and they're just running, 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 running. And then it's like, okay, then they fail. So then they quit. Then they come back on. And if they don't change, which happened to me for years, I didn't change. So then I just start running again, hoping it's going to be different. But do you
Mm.
know the quote from Albert Einstein where he says insanity, being an insane person? It means you do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And that's what happens after failure. You might try again. But if you didn't change how you think, how you see yourself, who you are, you're going to have the same thing happen. And some people go their whole life having that happen, their whole life.
So, Mitch, you are telling me that once in your life you failed,
Mhm.
you wake up and you did it again, and you stand up and you did it again, and you failed, and But what happened then? Because I know that your life have changed for what you are telling now. So what happened so that you went from failing to then be where you are at now?
Yeah. Well, if we have another phrase here in America, we call it "you're sick and tired of being sick and tired." You ever heard that, right? Maybe there's
Yes.
some other way of that you might say it, but yeah. And I was so tired of it that finally, I mean, I went 5, 6, 7 years as an entrepreneur, reading all the books, doing all of the studying, and I would have success, then fail, success, fail, success, fail. And it was like a roller coaster. And I was just so exhausted from it. So I realized I need to be connected with people who actually have success. It's one thing to read a book. It's one thing to watch Netflix or watch a YouTube video. It's another thing to go to an event and be with people in person who can actually support you. And then they become your friends. So in 2019, I went to an event, and it was a business event. And at that event, I found a group of people. There was probably 7 or 8 of them that I noticed were they were very, very well put together. They had a lot of success. The way that they spoke, the way they articulated, I could tell they know what they're talking about. So I chatted with them, met them, and over a whole weekend, because I was so conditioned, I was so hardwired to fail that it took me multiple days of being with these people to finally hear them. And they helped me see. They said, there's something in your mind. It's called programming. It's deep. It's deep in there. And you got to change it. So they showed me some tools: Techno-Tutor, self-forgiveness writing, and just being connected with like-minded people. And thankfully, I could hear them enough. So I said, sure, let me try this Techno-Tutor thing. What is this? I don't fully understand it, but I'll do it because I can tell you guys have success. I want success. I'm going to do it. Teachable. And after that, after about 2-3 weeks, life got better. Few months, got way better. And that was really when things started to change. And it's not to say I don't fail anymore, but now failure equals learning. I would write this one down.
Yes, write it down.
Failure equals
Yes.
learning.
Yes, because before we go further, I want you to take the piece of paper. In the middle, you're going to write regret. And then circle it. And then after that, you're going to write failure. Failure. Okay? And then somewhere in your paper, you can write, what did you say? Failure equals?
Failure equals learning.
Yep. Okay, when you write it down. Marilyn said, that is me right now. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. So she gets you. That's where you are at the best place, Marilyn. At the end of this, you're gonna see how to end the sick of tired and being tired.
Here, let me add one thing to this.
Of course.
So there's a pattern that we go through in our lives, and we'll have a little bit of success. Stuff might go okay for you. Like, I don't know, you graduate, you get a good job, you go through life, you find your husband, your wife, things are going okay. And then you reach a point where you realize, I want more. I want more in my life. I want to be happier. I want to have more of impact. I want to make more money. I want something more. And your life will keep feeding you things, will keep feeding you opportunities, and you might keep failing. You might have a little success, but at some point you will reach where it's called a window, and you have the opportunity to step through the window, and you can step into the new life. Here's the thing. Just because you're sick and tired of being sick and tired doesn't mean you're automatically going to change. I think we all know people who have said, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want to change. And then you see them 1 year later and they're in the same spot.
Absolutely.
And so it's on us, the self-responsibility and taking the right steps through. Because there are a million people out there who will try and sell you a book or whatever that they say, oh, this is the secret to change. You have to be grateful. Practice gratitude. I know a lot of people who practice gratitude and their life is still not what they want it to be. So there's a specific way to change. But right now you may have the opportunity where it's opened up, where you can decide to change. I would use that to really step through.
I think you're gonna trigger people, Mitchell. How many
I'm saying
books
this
have
because I
you
love,
read?
I genuinely love everyone here, and I want you to succeed. This is from the heart. I promise.
Yeah, exactly. So let me just ask you, how many books did you read in the past each year? How many books?
Um, in the past I used to read like 80 to 100 books a year. Before I got
Oh,
TechnoTutor,
slow down, slow down. How many?
80 to 100.
80 to 100.
Yes.
Why am I emphasizing on this? Because people nowadays think if I read a bunch of books, my life is going to change. But they are not self honest enough to be like, this is me. I have spent all my money buying books. I have read 200 of them, but my life is getting worse and worse and worse. And so that's why I really wanted you to slow down there so that we can tell to people that it's great to read books, but there is a missing key that you don't have, and we are here to talk about that. That's why you read books over and over again, and your life will never change. So here is Mitch testify that um that it doesn't matter if you read thousands of books, but if you're not doing the right way, your life not gonna change. Would you like to add something on that? Since you read 100 books a year.
Yes. And that was back when I was failing and life was not working well. I was reading because I was told if you just read a lot, you will be successful.
Same, same.
And it just wasn't fully true. Like, sure, some books would help me feel better, but
But
feeling better
doesn't
doesn't
change
always
a
make the
thing.
change. So I just want to share this. Have you ever read a book and you're like, this is good. You're like with your pen, you're putting little stars by it, you're writing notes, highlighter. You're like, this is just so good. Oh, I gotta reread this because it's just so good. And then you go into your life and you don't really apply it. Like the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Everyone's told, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, read that book. And you read the book, but you don't turn into the rich dad.
You're still the poor dad.
So what I noticed was after specifically that tool, TechnoTutor, which I know if people have listened to your stuff, you talk about it a lot because it works. I would use TechnoTutor and I would put in the stuff from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or the things from the other books I would read. And once I put it through TechnoTutor, it started to happen in my life. I started to realize, oh, wow, I can use money like this. Oh, wow, I can understand what assets are. Oh, I'm reading a book on sales. I actually know how to make a sale happen. And that changed my life because then it was like I didn't have to go reread the book. The book became part of me.
Yeah, that's what actually make a change, right?
Mhm.
Yo, so you talked about taking responsibility. You were sharing your story. I caught you a little bit because of the books, but you were sharing that after that event, what happened?
Mm. Well, at that event, I came to the point of realizing that I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I need to be around people who know what they're doing. And so I made the decision to join this community. And then afterwards, um, it was very funny because it's one thing to go to an event where you're surrounded by people and it's all fun and exciting. The next step is then when you go back home, what do you do? And I noticed this time it was different because I had this new tool I could use. I had this community. I could call people on the phone. They were there to support me. And I felt for the first time I ever felt like I was actually very strong. Like I could handle going into my life. I could handle going through business. I could handle failures. And so
Mm,
after that, I mean, the first thing I focused on was making more money. Because to me, I think a lot of us, most of us think about money a lot. But just because we all want more money. More money allows you
we
to do.
need it. At the end of the day, we need money, right, to
Yes.
survive. Yeah,
Yeah. And life is definitely not all about money. We know
not
that. But
good.
if you don't have money, it's kind of hard to be happy. And so I really focused on then making money and I took many of the books that I used to read. Now I took the books and I put them through TechnoTutor, and my thoughts just started changing. It was after maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 days, I started to feel different. I felt just a little bit more clear, felt a little bit more creative. Business started to change. Then after another week, it started to change a lot. After about a month of doing this, my business really took off. And I still had little moments of failure, but this time the failure would happen and I wouldn't even feel bad. It was like a lesson. It was like the universe or life was giving me a lesson of how I could get better. And man, once that clicked with me, it was amazing. I mean, business took off to making like 6 figures a month. Like,
So,
yeah.
so let me clarify this. In the past, while reading all those books, did you come across failure equal learning? When you fail, is actually something great because you are learning something. Have you seen that before?
Oh, I read it in so many books. I thought
Okay,
I
so
knew it.
why is that you read it in books, but now it was clear for you what failure mean? But in the past, it was like you understanding. Why am I asking this question? Because someone in the comments said, I think she wanted to write failure. I think failure equals learning, but to learn it, I suffer a lot. So I think I understand what she's saying. So what is that? What is the things that changed for you going from just saying it and going from knowing it and actually applying it in your life?
Yeah. Well, here's an example of how a way of looking at this. Let's say that you have some sort of illness in your body and you want it to change, but it's like on the level of your genetics, like your DNA level. That's where the problem is. And you have a scalpel, like a knife, right? So you're like a surgeon, and you're trying to deal with it. You're trying to make yourself healthy but all you have is a scalpel. Okay, that's like the that's like what a book is to get you to learn. A book is like a scalpel, like a surgeon is trying to use. There's a time and place for a book. I still read books, but you can't use a scalpel to change your genetics. TechnoTutor is changing at that level. And so that's where I noticed it was like in the past, I would just fail and I would have the same issues over and over. But after I was using TechnoTutor, because it's changing how you interpret things, it's like changing at the base level. It became so obvious to me, and I didn't fear failure. I didn't feel bad. It was like, oh, failure. Okay, that wasn't what I was. It's like if you were trying to put on your shoe and you accidentally tied your shoe wrong. You'd be like, oh, oops, I did it wrong. Okay, tie it right.
And then you tie it again.
And then you just like learning how to make $1 million and tying your shoe is actually pretty similar. You just have to do a certain amount of steps. The thing is, if you're not programmed for it, it's like a little baby trying to tie a shoe. They can't even move their hands.
Yep.
And so that's what I started to notice. It was like all the stuff I read about in books, it became so obvious to me. And it was like it started to automatically happen for me. So I didn't even have to think about it. I was just doing the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so after starting using the tools, so here is something that I'm sharing on the screen about Mitchell. So you can go to our website, elite.autoeducation.com, and you can read his story. This is one of the many Mitchell's testimony, and it's actually in French if you don't understand English that much. So here is some thing that you can read to understand.
And that was early. That was like
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm 3 years in now.
Yeah. So we should change this title. How I made $1 million, right?
Literally. Yes.
Exactly.
I'll give you an updated one.
Yes. So now after doing that, you started something that I think is a great thing. You started self-perfected, right? So can you share a little bit why you decided how did you come and deciding to start self-affected. And yeah, so because that is the really pivot point of our group and community. So
Yeah. Well, how I look at it is when you're going through life, you need to have people around you. Like, we're social people. We need
yeah,
friends, community.
but the media doesn't think so, Mitchell. Don't let us be cancelled. I don't want them to cancel this. I'm just kidding. Go on.
Well, this is why we just have to make our own platform so we can't get
Yes. Yes.
because yeah, it's crazy. Like, even the idea of just having friends who motivate you and everything, like sometimes people even get worked up about that. But okay, so you're going to go through life and you're going to have different friends, right? You're going to have different people that are going to be around you. And sometimes people stay comfortable and they just stay friends with the people that they went to high school with, that they grew up with, and you just kind of accept those people as friends. But if your goal is to have an amazing life, or find your purpose, or change the world, or make a bunch of money, or raise awesome kids, or whatever, if that's your goal, but you're not around people like that, it's never going to happen. But when you can put yourself around those people, it makes it a lot easier. It's like if you wanted to learn how to run a marathon and you just hang out with people who run marathons, at some point you're going to put on your running shoes and they're going to get you to go on a run. It's
Yes.
just how it works, right? You'll want to fit in and all that.
Exactly.
So-
You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right?
Yes. I would write that one down, everyone.
Yes,
I
write
am
it
the
down.
average. I am the average of the 5 people I spend the most time with.
Thanks. I think Mitch is doing the better job than me. I'm so focused on hearing you that I even forget that I should tell them to write things down. So let's go.
Yeah. So, okay. So I started to become aware of this. And after I was using TechnoTutor, I started to realize, oh my gosh, I am not spending my time with the right amount of people, the right amount of time. I was still hanging out with old friends who didn't really have big goals or anything. And they were just interested in, going to happy hour and drinking beer and talking about sports. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But in the past, I would never stand up to it. I would just get sucked in because it was fun. And, I'll just have one beer. It's not that bad.
Exactly. It always starts like that. Oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah. But I knew where that led. Like, I knew that ends up with me in 1 year being in the same spot. So one Friday night, this was maybe 3 or 4 weeks after I got into TechnoTutor, I was very impressed with the people in that community. I mean, I know you've seen it, Sandra. Like, these are amazing people. Literally the best people. And so I'd be on phone calls with them and just asking for support and just getting world-class support. And so one Friday rolls around, and one of my old friends reaches out to me. He goes, "Hey man, want to go out to the bar tonight? Like, it'll be fun. Other friends are going to be there." And I just looked at that text, and in the past, I would have just automatically gone, "Oh yeah, sure, later."
Of course, I'm coming.
This time, I could see it. I was like, I know where that goes. I know tomorrow I'm going to regret it. My life won't get better. It's not going to be anything special. And so then what I ended up doing was I was like asking myself, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do on my Friday night? Like, what would actually be an awesome Friday night? Who do I want to be with? I was like, and I had like 5 names pop in my mind. All the people from Self-Perfected Community, or from TechnoTutor, sorry. And so I'm like, okay, how about we do a Zoom? Because we were all around the world, and U.S., Canada, some guys from Australia. I'm like, let's just do a Zoom. How about we all hang out on Zoom and just talk about stuff? Like, have a real conversation, really support each other, help each other grow, talk about our goals, inspire each other, that kind of thing. And it was awesome because I thought, I'm like, you know what? Let me just record this. Might be valuable. I don't know. People were taking notes and everything. Yeah. So we recorded it. I was like, that was pretty good. And someone's like, hey, can you send me that recording? I was like, how about I just throw it in a Facebook group? Sure, whatever.
Yeah, so that everyone can see that you were thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we put it in a Facebook group, and then I invited some other people, and my wife Jessica, who was not my wife at the time.
Yes, your wife. We want to see your wife. Is she around?
She'll make an appearance in a moment. She's actually in the other room.
Yes, we are waiting. Jess, come. Okay, continue.
Okay, Jess. Actually, hey, Jess. There we go. She was listening.
Oh,
Here.
hello.
Hello,
Aristotle. Hi,
everyone.
Jess.
This is Aristotle. He is our son.
Here, I can hold him for a second.
Yeah, you hold him. That way I can. Okay, hello.
Hello, Jess. Jess and I, we talk a lot. She's in the women's group, and
Yes.
she also created the women's group. This is a powerful couple. So, Ari, how are you? The first appearance of Ari in my YouTube channel. That's cool. We are gonna meet in June, but
Yes.
let's hold on to that. So, how are you, Jess?
I'm doing great. I'm
Wanna
just
sit
gonna
here for a
pull up my
second?
chair quick.
Of
Here.
course, pull your
I'll
chair.
let Jess
sit
fill in for
down.
me for a moment.
People, search your popcorn. We are gonna have an amazing night, but keep writing down. Okay, Jess, tell us, how are you and how has it been being in this group, using TT, being Mitchell's wife? Marvin is like, he's cute. Of course, Ari is cute.
Yeah, he's
Tell them,
adorable.
how old is he?
He's 4 months.
They are gonna be surprised. They are like,
So
what?
this group has dramatically changed my life. I was a very unstable, unpredictable, rebel type of child.
Rebel.
And, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I always knew that I wanted to create some kind of impact in the world. I always knew the world was really messed up, but I didn't know how to actually create change. Like, I used to calculate how much Hollywood would spend on their movies and how many movies it would take to feed the world. Yeah, literally. Like, I was like, this doesn't add up. Like, there's so many people suffering, yet we just entertain ourselves and act like it's not happening. So this is the first group that I found that's actually doing something about it and supporting you to be stable yourself. So it's like creating the inner change will create the outer change, because you are the world, right? And if all of us can stabilize as a group, then we can bring stability to the world. So it's been amazing.
Absolutely. And for the women, tell them that you have a home birth and why. Briefly, because I know there are women watching and they don't even still think that it's possible. So can you touch on that a little bit?
Yes. So I saw early on doing this process that we needed a group of women to come together, because my whole life I've never really had a what can I say? A healthy relationship with other women. It's always been like competitive or comparison.
You'd rather be alone than be with women because they're gonna tap you.
I want to go hang out with the boys. Like, these women are too catty. Like, all these things. And yeah, so I saw that and I was like, that's not, like, women are capable of so much more. Like, we can come together and actually support each other. We can create an environment where there is no comparison. There is no competition, like a real support line where everyone, like, our communities from around the world, it's crazy. Absolutely. We have women from everywhere. Yeah. And it's really awesome because as we each individually are walking this process of stabilizing ourselves and, you know, becoming equal, right, to reality, instead of living in delusion land and depression and all this stuff that is just so chronic in women nowadays. You know, as we do that, as a group of women together and supporting each other, we move so much faster. You know why? Because we're all doing it together and learning from each other and supporting each other, instead of trying to be this, like, boss babe, lone wolf.
Exactly.
You know?
Sometimes when I'm down, I call Jessica. I'm like, Jess, I don't feel great. I want to cry. And then she's like, okay, I'm listening. And at the end, I'm like, why did I not think about that? Yes, it makes sense. Let me do this and do that. And so it's amazing. It's wonderful to have a community of women that are going to support you, because sometimes you guys see Jessica is happily married with Mitchell, but it's not the same as talking with each other, right? When you are talking with women, there are things that Mitch will never get. He's like, what are you
Exactly.
talking about?
I agree.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and when you're talking with women, they're like, yes, I got you. And that's awesome. Awesome. Yes, go on.
Definitely. Like there's a feminine and a masculine, and you can't deny it. And when
Absolutely.
you get support from people who are similar in like they are also feminine, they are going to be able to relate to you in a way that the masculine never could. You can never truly get the support from. Did you know that women feel negative emotions? It's something like 7 times more than men.
Yeah.
It's great. Like men can never understand how shitty we feel sometimes.
Yeah, that's why
That's
it
just
doesn't
the
get
reality
to
of
like,
it.
you're just a bitch now. Stop being a bitch. But as women, I'm like, yes, I got you. But with principle, you should stop that, because in that it's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Sandra's been such an amazing person to be a part of the community, because she brings through different things that nobody else had brought through yet, right?
Yeah.
Like look at these YouTube presence she has. Look at that red lipstick. She just brings a
Period.
whole new element. I love it.
Thank you, Jess. Okay, I'm gonna continue with Mitchell, and then at
Yes.
the end, I would like you to come back again.
Okay,
And of course, Ari is the
I'll come
priority.
back.
If you are available, then you're gonna come, and we are gonna close it with something. Look at that,
You wanna say
Ari.
something?
Hi.
He's got the hiccups.
Can you see
Yes,
Sandra?
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So stable child. No, that's awesome. And then we are gonna see us in maybe 20 minutes or 10. Let me squeeze Mitchell once more. I want to squeeze the knowledge.
Let's do it. Knowledge squeeze.
Okay. You said you started the group, right? With your wife, Jessica. You guys decided to start this amazing group. And I want to share my story around in the self-affected group, because when I joined the group, I joined it January, but I started being active in February. And maybe you don't know this story, but when Vianney talked to me about self-affected, I was like, oh, I don't want to be around white people. White people, they are not headache. And I'm sharing this to send a message to everyone, because when you have a program, that means there are maybe 1,000 or hundred of people having the same program as you have. And so if I didn't pass through that, I wouldn't have been where I'm right now, having Jessica as a woman supporting me, having you and the community, being distributor, having techno tutor. So I had that thought of, I don't want to be around white people. Why? Because when I came to Germany, I have talked about that in the podcast, so I'm not gonna go down deep down in that topic. I would suggest you to go and watch that podcast. But I was just like, when I came here and being the first time around white people, right? It was just so cold, and it was so different from what I had back home, and so that's the resonance that I had around white people, that I don't want to be around there, because you don't even know when to make a joke or not. But when I joined Self-Affected, the meeting, the call, right, that we have, the global hangout, I saw people being present, the things that I don't see here. And that's when I learned that it has to be with culture, not the human being. And then the things that changed my mind is when I had when I was going through difficulty, and then I reached out to Jessica, and the way she sat down and talked to me, it's like I was the only one that mattered in that moment when she was talking to me. And I was like, I have never ever seen this before, where people are stable, present. It's scarcity. It's something that people don't have anymore. Like being present and listening to you, and actually deep down wanting to having your best interest in heart. I never knew something like that exists, because even back home, it's not, no one is there and be like, I really want you to succeed. And in this group, for the first time in my life, I'm seeing people that genuinely want you to succeed. And this, you will never find it in other group or whatever. And that's something I really, really want to say in this call. And yes, after that, you start self-affected. Global hangout. We are having fun. We are exchanging. Sometimes we cry in those global hangout. Sometimes we laugh. Sometimes after that, you're like, I want to change this for real. You reach out to people, they support you. But with time, there's something you have decided to do, that we have decided to do, that is making this real, making sure we go from screen to the physical. So what is that, Mitchell? Share it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing to do a Zoom call. It's another thing to be with someone in person for days. Give people a real hug, share a meal together. Hang out on the beach, all that. And so what we've done is we've put together an event. It's called Enter the 1%, and it is for the people who genuinely want to create their best life. Not just the 1% of money, even though yes, people there make a lot of money, and there are people who can teach you how to build business. But we mean the 1% of purpose, the 1% of relationships, of family, of learning how to live a really, really magnificent life, and then being able to share that with other people. Because that's the one other core part of our community is, yes, if your life is awesome, great. That's goal number one, make your life awesome. But the other super important goal is then empower yourself to then share that with other people. Because imagine you're amazing, but you don't even have any friends to hang out with.
That's awful, It's awful at the end of the day, not having someone that you're going to share those things with, that you're going to have great conversation with. Because if your friends only talk about drinking, smoking, that's the only thing they are going to talk about. But you want to talk about something different. And so I definitely say that.
Yeah. So we're putting together, we have a couple hundred people that will be coming together in San Diego. Tickets are almost sold out already. Like, it happened a lot faster than I kind of anticipated that it would. But yeah, this is the event. And so that the pictures on there are photos from the actual resort.
Yeah.
This is, it's amazing. It's a private island off of San Diego.
Look at that.
Yeah. So you fly into the San Diego airport. You can take an Uber. It's not far. Come in a day early, stay a day after, and we have it. It is all built out, and it's designed so from Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, all sorts of trainings, workshops. If you want to dive deep in learning how to make business work and grow your money, we can do that. If you want to dive deep on finding your partner, we'll even do speed dating, right? So there's plenty of things. So if you're single and you're looking for a partner, if you have a family, it's family friendly. We don't do no drinking, no smoking, nothing. It's like literally pure, clean fun. And some people might go, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so awkward if I can't have a glass of wine. No, we're going to show you that you'll have way more fun. and Saturday night, I got to say, it's all designed for you to step into your next level of identity of how you see yourself. So even when you go back home, it's part of you. And Saturday night especially, we have some performances. There's a red carpet gala, so you get all nice and dressed up.
Yes.
Beautiful meal, entertainment. The whole, I can't even say everything we're going to do because there's some surprises. But then like a world-class like dance party, and just some of my favorite parts of it is you'll be having a conversation at midnight, hanging out by the pool, just, 10, 20 people. And someone will say something that is like exactly what you needed to hear. And that event is then the catalyst or the thing that speeds up everything. And I'll say one more part. Drake, another member of Self Perfected,
Yes.
he brought up a really, really amazing point. He was saying how when you're around people who are thinking at a certain level and their programming, their mindset, everything about them, their presence, how they show up, how they talk to you is at a certain level. And if you've never been around that, just being around them, just giving them a hug, talking to them, chatting with them, building that friendship and going back and forth, sometimes that can help you grow faster than what a whole year of you being alone would be. Sitting there reading your books, taking your notes, trying to make life work, just you having one or two conversations with people at that level can speed up your process that much more. And so we have the event up. I'm sure you've shared the details with the people, but if not, like, you just click the link and just get your ticket, figure out how to get there. We have a single mom from South Africa coming. We have people from Uruguay coming. Yeah, Netherlands, Canada, US, Australia,
France, Germany.
Yeah. I have people from Cameroon and Ivory Coast that are reaching out to me about it. And it's like, you just find a way to make it happen, because this is that event. Like 3 years ago for me, where finally I met the people and I was like, oh my God, it's real. I can actually have this awesome life. That was the event that changed everything. That's what this is going to be, but for hundreds of people. And I would love for you to be one of them.
Yes, that's why I really wanted you to share your story before we go to that point, so that people can see that your life didn't change because you were doing the same thing over and over again. You one day decided that I want to do something different, and you booked that ticket, you went to that event. That's why you met the people that I've shared with you, the pathway that you took on to for yourself. And what happened when people continue to do the same thing again and again and again? You are gonna get sick. Continue the phrase.
Sick and tired. Being sick and tired.
Okay. And what did they say? For example, here is Pierre saying, sick and tired of being sick and tired. This is me now. We want you to change that. We want you to change that, because stop saying those things and next day you go ahead with your day-to-day life. Nothing is going to actually change, right? So taking action is the only thing that is going to prevent you from regret. That's why I told you to write down regret in your piece of paper, and then failure. And then you're going to write down, I will, in 6 months from now, you're going to be in regret because you didn't take action. That's the only thing that, it's not failure. It's not failure that make you be, I regret failing. No, it's because you didn't take action. So that's why I really wanted you to talk about this event. So yes, go on.
Yeah, and what I have seen too is, like, I know it's uncomfortable sometimes. Let's say you don't have a bunch of extra money, or you don't know, your work, if you can get the time off. But when you just make a decision and you say, you know what, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do this because I want to have an amazing life and I want that thing that's going to help me actually change. Think about this too. What happened for the past 3 years? A lot of travel restrictions. It was very difficult to get places. It was difficult to even get a hotel space, and not have people wearing masks and stuff. So let's use this time we have right now to really make the most of it, because you might meet some people at this event that'll be your new best friends. They might become your husband or your wife. You might introduce them to their husband or their wife.
Oh, Mitchell, are you saying that a lady can come to this event and find her husband?
There are many eligible men here, and I can personally verify the various ones that I would say this is a great fit. And it's like that's what makes this event so fun, is because I know so much great greatness is going to come from this. But it's really for the people who are willing to face, okay, feels a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, kind of a leap of faith. But hey, if you're listening still to this, I mean, you like Sandra, you've listened to what I'm saying. I mean, this is the real deal, and this is your invitation, and it's not like it's on a private island. There's a certain amount of rooms. And so, like, as of very recently, we're at 80% of the tickets and hotel is already booked up. So if you're at all on the
it's
fence,
amazing. First of all, the group, the community, and you have to know that this community is something you have never seen before. And if you guys follow me for as long as maybe 2 years, when I joined Self-Affected, I was talking about it everywhere. And that's when you know something is legit, when you really get the support that everybody's saying. You're going to get support. Sometimes you join some group, they're, oh, I'm going to support you. The moment you really need them, nobody is there to be like, really supports you, right? So I'm sharing this because last year, December, we also did a mini event here, only the women, and it was amazing. It was my first TT event in the sense of not being my state, and so I met with women doing this process, and it was so good. We were just 6. Can you imagine? Only between 6 women, especially what Jess was saying earlier, that when you have women that are sharing this principle, using the tools, you go to the next level. People challenge you just speaking about random things, but the way and the principle that are written, you are just like, okay, I really need to to level up. So this is really why I want you guys to come to the event. I've shared the link in the comment, so just follow the link. And if you have questions, you can ask me, you can send me a message, and I'm going to help you through that. And can we have a little bit of cuteness? Where is Ari? Before we close.
Are you up here? If you give me like 20 seconds.
Of course. And like, I'm gonna say it again. Where do you want to see yourself in 6 months, in 1 year? Because if you look at your life right now, you're like, oh, I feel stuck, like Michelle felt before. I'm not happy. My life sucks. I don't have the money I really want. My kids and I are not going along. Come to this event and you're going to have the answer to all your questions. And so, Jessica, can you tell us about why someone must come to this event? It's a must. I'm not asking you guys if you want to. I'm like, it's a must. So tell us on your perspective why someone should just join us on these private islands.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so first of all, like she said, this is a private island resort. This is something you've never been to before. I'm talking stunning. And have you ever been to California? Have you ever been there? It's very sunny. It's very nice. The ocean is wonderful. Okay, so that's, first of all, yeah, like, you need to get there for the environment, first of all.
Yeah.
But second of all, the caliber of people that are going to be in this setting, like, picture yourself here with hundreds of people who are high caliber, who have these kind of conversations on a daily basis.
And we will welcome you with open arms. Like, sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. We are the most friendly. I'll give you a big hug. And
I think they can see that already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put on my self-perfected sweatshirt. There'll be merch. The merch is going to be awesome. As you can see, it's very high quality. But imagine this merch in that setting with all the people. And on top of that, we're going to be delivering the best conversations, the best speakers on stage. I'm talking 7-8 figure earners who will teach you how they set up their whole life for success. These kind of people aren't the kind of people who just succeed in one area of their life. They're not just, oh, I make a lot of money.
That's what I love about this community.
Or my wife and I have a great relationship, but we're broke.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we have it all. We have the money, we have the stability, the great relationships, the kids who turn out like geniuses. I'm talking next level education that we offer to these kids. And so it's like all of those people in the same room where you get to ask whatever questions you want. You get one-on-one support in person, and the kind of feeling that you're going to get from that environment with those people, that caliber, having those kind of conversations, wearing this kind of merch. I mean, it's going to be something that if you don't go
I've never seen before.
You're going to see Sandra's highlight reel from this event, and you're going to see all of our pictures from the event, and you're going to be like, damn. I missed the first self-perfected event. The first ever global self-perfected event. When we're having these quarterly and there's literally no venue big enough to accommodate how many people want to go, and it becomes exclusive and it starts to get expensive, you're going to be like, why didn't I go to the first?
I think everybody hates to say, I wished what if so.
Seriously. Nothing that you could do this year will give you as much growth, but also could be as fun. We are some of the most fun people you could be around because we're so present and we're not just stuck in our mind and participating in a bunch of bullshit. No, we're here to just have fun and be present with you, whatever that means, whether we're playing games, having real conversations, or going and swimming in the ocean.
Yes, that's what I was telling them, that the first person that I reached out when I joined Self-Affected, but because when I reached out at the end, they were like, oh, if you have something, you can reach out to us. And one day I was like, okay, let me just try. And I reached out to you. We talked like we have known all for, I don't know. And it was so cool. Like, people don't know what it feels like to be recognized, to be listened when someone really listens to you in order for them to really help you get out of the situation that you are in. And I know that people are going through difficult times, where the world is heading. People are going through very, very difficult times. And we are here to say to you that we are Self-Perfected. We are creating a safe place for everyone. It's not mean that we are just gonna tell you even when you do bad things that is great. No, but a safe place is where you can say all your bullshit, and we still support you to go through that. And we can even reach out and be like, where are you? Have you done this or have you done that? And the value that you get from this community has nothing to be compared to you sitting at home watching I don't know, motivation speaker or whatever. But this time around, we're gonna be with people that actually genuinely, what is our mission? To end child slavery, abuse, and poverty.
Right. So it's like, okay, what other communities are you a part of? Right? Your volleyball league, or maybe something to like
Shisha league.
Yeah, like, are you just trying to be a part of book clubs and like all this bullshit? It's like, what's the starting point of this group? And what do you end up doing at these groups? 9 times out of 10, you just end up gossiping about other people because you are so limited in what you're exposed to that you just revert back to talking about other people instead of actually talking about real fundamental change, not only for yourself, but for the world. And like, I'm just here to say, like, we're the realest community there is. Everything else that you're participating in is like, you haven't seen what life could be like yet. you haven't seen what is possible yet. And you aren't going to understand that until you join the community and you meet us in person and come to this event. It's like you'll never fully grasp the power of this kind of community, which, like I said, we're the only one, but you'll never grasp that until you actually come and meet us in person. Because online is great, but you can still hide behind the curtain. You can still bullshit your way through online. You can still think about what you want to type or present yourself in a specific way where you look and you can talk and walk the walk or whatever. But once you're in person, you get to be vulnerable. You get to be exposed, not only to yourself, but to the people around you. And that may sound scary. Like some people are like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want people to see my dog.
Deep down, they want that.
Yes.
Down.
Because you've never had that.
Yeah.
You've never been a part of a community where you could be completely vulnerable, raw, authentic, your real self, not having to think about what you're going to say, not having to think about how to position yourself in your chair and all this bullshit. It's like you just get to be there. And nobody's going to be shitting on you for how you're sitting or what you're wearing and all that bullshit, because we don't worry about that because we got too much other big shit to worry about. My mind isn't going to what the fuck you're wearing. My mind is going to, oh, there's still 20,000 children dying of preventable causes every day. What the fuck are we doing about it?
You know? Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. So take your ticket. And at the end of it, we are going to be together. You know, you're going to see me for the first time, you know, so.
You already know you want to meet Sandra in person. Look at her.
They're going to meet Sandra, you know, and what, you know, other people are doing meetup. I'm like, oh, come to the event and you're going to hang out and gonna.
You can come rub my baby's head for good luck.
Yeah, I'm going to see Ari. For the first time, I'm going to hold him. I can't hold him from the screen, you know.
Yeah.
I need to be there and hold him.
You'll have to do some working out before you.
I'm doing it already. I'm not posting it on Facebook.
Already, I don't know, 25 pounds or something, and he's like 4 months old.
He's been fed. Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michelle, for being on this call live. I don't even know how the hell it's called.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm very grateful. What did you say?
Thanks everyone for being here on the live and listening and tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let this be the catalyst for the rest of your life to be like a dream come true. Let's make your dreams a reality, and let's start that in paradise.
Yep. Together. And just to end it up, what happens to people who doesn't take action?
They stay in the same place. Nothing changes.
I'm going to say it so we close. Don't be in your head thinking that you're going to sit down, you're going to be positive, and next year your life is going to change. You said it last year. Last year you said my life is going to change. You were like everything, but your life is just going worse and worse and worse, because in life there is no stability. You're either grow or die. You are just dying. So we want you to go from the tree of evil to the tree of life. And 100%. So take action and join the group. Take your ticket and we see you in San Diego. So I'm gonna say bye. I put the link in the chat. And like I said, if you have any question about hotel reservation, anything, reach out to me. And see you next time right here. And bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.